What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, back again for the match preview, Everton against Arsenal. But we really need to talk about the breaking news today. But ordinarily, we wouldn't have waited this long to do it. But I'm decorating. John's been very busy today. So, what do you take of the news, John?
Well, I don't know whether it was a surprise or not, because it's been murmurings probably started to gather pace probably from the beginning of the week. Didn't expect it to come out today. I was shocked when I seen it. A lot of people are saying it's a done deal. It's not a done deal. Listening to people who are connected with Everton, who we know, saying things like, you know, it's going to be the end of the month, towards the end of the year that the deal is ratified by the Premier League, if it's ratified. Same person put a tweet out today saying the government have got wind of it and they're okay with it. So it seems like there's probably nothing going to hold it back now. 94.1% leaves 5.9%, obviously, to the minor shareholders, but it's a takeover. So the people who are still on the board, i.e. Mr. Kenwright, he's not going to have a say. If these don't want him there, then he's got no choice. He has to go. A few rumours today that he's recently had an operation and he's not a well man whatsoever. So, you know, whatever people think about Bill Kenwright, this probably helps him. He probably doesn't need the stress in his life anymore. He's put us through enough stress. Mashiri's put us through enough stress. But this isn't a done deal yet, this takeover. I do see it going through. I'm happy with it. As I said last night, Michael, on the video, if these people are coming in to earn a quick buck and stabilise the club, apparently they've showed Mashiri the figures that they can clear the debts off. They'll give in the 500 million. They can fund the stadium. Apparently he's seen the figures. He's happy to do the deal. So if that's the case and it's short-lived, their tenure at the football club, once Bramley Moore's completed, as I said, you know, there's people going to be knocking on the door, isn't there? Hopefully, if Everton are still in the Premier League, to buy the club. As I said to you on the phone this morning, if they can come in and within 2 years earn 200 or 300 million quid out of it, that's what these people do. They invest in clubs that are on the slide or have hit rock bottom like we have, build them up as much as they can and sell them for a bit of profit. So I think that's what's going to happen. Hopefully that's what happens. They stabilise the club. They put us on a good financial footing regarding financial fair play. I'm not saying they're going to break the British transfer record, Michael, and pump all kinds of money in for transfers. I don't think they'll do that. But listening to this said person today, it sounds like they want to come in and put the club on a good footing and leave it like that. So if that's the case, let's see what happens. You know, it's not a done deal, and I know a lot of people are against it, me and you included, but it looks like we haven't got a choice. It looks like it's 777.
Yeah, look, sometimes you've just got to grit your teeth and get on with it. I'm not over the moon about it. I think there would be better consortiums out there. I certainly hope. I think it's now 10 out of 20 clubs in the Premier League will be owned by an American consortium or American owners. And I just don't want them to start trying to franchise us, you know, and start having, you know, things like NFL games at Bramley Moore. You know, I don't want to see any of that. I want to see Everton Football Club be successful. And look, I wrote these guys off. And we've mentioned it before on the channel, and we mentioned it in the car earlier. When you look at the teams that they've got, you know, they've got Sevilla, who is probably the feather in their cap currently. But Everton probably are going to be their crown jewel. They probably are.
Without a doubt. They're the biggest club they'll own, Michael. And hopefully they'll have the trail thought where they don't want to fail with something as big as Everton, because as you said, they are the biggest club that they're going to own. And I think it was you today, Michael, who actually said, sorry to butt in, but I think you said today, out of all these clubs, I think they only actually own one. 100% own one. Is it two? out of, what is it, 5, 6, I think Everton are the 7th club or what have you. A lot of these clubs that they took over, looking at websites and various things and speaking to you, a lot of these clubs were in shit street when they took over anyway. They took over a couple of clubs when they were already fighting relegation. So it's quick to point the finger at them. And listen, I'm not blowing smoke up their ass because I'm like everybody else. I'm wary about it. But a lot of the clubs that they took over were already struggling. So, listen, we'll just have to see what happens. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. And look, you know, we made this joke last night that it can't get any worse than what we've currently got. And we're a little bit concerned that it won't get better than what we've got. The one thing I would say is at least it is a change. At least it does stop Mr. Kenwright being on the board. And yes, he appears to have his health issues. And you know that I will never, I'll never disrespect anyone's health. So most importantly, really importantly, I really hope that he, you know, gets well soon. That's the most important thing. But we've got a massive game, really. You know, we've lost our first 2 home games. Yet again, the statement has come out the night, well, a couple of nights before the game or the night before the game or even the bloody day of the game. Yet again, that statement's been made. I don't agree with the timing. I think it should have happened Monday. But what I will say is people like me and you, we're sitting there and we're trying to be optimistic, and I'm hoping that other fans will be exactly the same. They'll try and see optimistic, an opportunity and a different change, a different direction, and exactly what Everton need. And Everton go into this game against Arsenal needing a change of direction on the football pitch. You know, they've got Beto now. Sean Dyche was pressed a lot about the takeover, but no disrespect to Sean Dyche, he's not going to know a lot about the takeover, to be honest. You know, he's not going to. I was more bothered about his team news, and it's good to see that some of the injuries are returning. It's good to see that they're back on the grass. You know, Jack Harrison, McNeil's back. He played a little bit last game. We're starting to have the cogs turning again. John, are you confident, not confident going into Sunday's game?
Well, the bit of confidence I have, Michael, is because, as you said last night, we've got a good record at home. I think it's 6 games now that we've took points from Arsenal on the run at Goodison.
I think we've won 4, drew 2 of the last 6.
Yeah. So, you know, there's confidence there, you know, and as you've just said, the players are coming back now. Each week, the squad's looking stronger. And we spoke about this. Everton's first 11, if we could keep them fit, is probably a 12th, 13th, 14th finish.
Yep.
As we've reiterated many times since the transfer window closed, but 1 or 2 injuries short of a car crash. And this is the problem we have. Going forward, I think we'll create chances, we'll score goals. Even against Arsenal, I see us scoring. It's just how many we can stop going in our own net, Michael, because the defence, for me, is all over the shop. And that, considering Sean Dyche was involved in many, many relegation battles with Burnley, when he did keep Burnley up, it was always built on a good defence. And obviously to keep the opposition out, to scrape draws, to scrape a 1-0 win. I don't see a Sean Dyche defence yet.
No.
Yeah, I don't, and that's what worries me. Going forward, defensively, we've got our full-backs getting dragged in. We've got the ball going over Tarkowski so easy for one of the goals in the previous games. You've got centre-halves losing their men. That's not a Sean Dyche defence, Michael. Needs to work on that defence. If he could get that defence right and get the best defenders fit, because for me, Coleman should be starting before Patterson. I'm not going to sit here and slag him off. He's young. It's the left back that worries me.
Yeah.
You know, so if he can settle on some sort of back four and make it as good as he can, I think we'll be okay, and I think we will score goals. It worries me, though, we've got Arsenal on Sunday at Goodison against that defence.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about that, when Sean Dyche come in at first, I think it was his first 4 home games, we didn't concede a goal. If you remember, we beat Arsenal 1-0. We beat somebody else 1-0. There was a few 1-0 wins, if I remember. He hasn't built on that this season. That isn't there. That solidarity isn't there. Look, last season we were awful, and I did a little video on Twitter. I came in. You remember me? I came into the hub, and I was absolutely bouncing. Do you remember? Do you remember how buzzing I was about the game? And I said to you today, we win 1-0. We win 1-0. I said it on Twitter. I said it on here. I said it then. And I have exactly the same feeling again. I have exactly the same feeling going into this game that Everton managed to nullify Arsenal and get a 1-0 win. And I don't know why. And I you know, on paper we shouldn't. But I just think we will. I just think we will. And I'm fairly confident that this, you know, Beto will be physically capable of dealing with whoever's at the back of Arsenal. You know, I think we've got clever players who can play through the channels in terms of wide positions, depending on who he starts. I do see a little bit more. Look, losing it won't be. People will say whether that's, you know, the creative spark or whatever. But the simple fact of the matter is, he was decent at carrying the ball at times, and he could go from defence to attack. He could carry the ball and do that. But there's other players in that team that can step up and do that. You know, we want to see Onana further forward. He played really well for Belgium midweek. He played 90 minutes. You know, we want to see all these players stepping up now. And I just think this is a perfect opportunity after international break, after getting our first point away from home. We go into a home game against an Arsenal side that have looked at times indifferent this season. And we go at them, we give them a good game, we show them who's boss again, the crowd will be up for it. We give them a Goodison Park welcome as always, you know, really aggressive atmosphere. And we go and win the game. And that, you know, I don't care about starting 11, I don't care about who starts up front, I don't care about any of that. We just need to win a game of football. And I'm confident, I truly believe, we do it on Sunday at 4:30.
If we can get our first league win of the season against Arsenal, it'll give the club and it'll give the boys a massive lift. You know, and it's going to be a different Everton we've seen. You know, Sean Dyche has had the international break longer with Beto. Harrison's on the grass. So that, even though he's not going to be involved, still gives everyone a lift, Michael. Beto's home debut. So the crowd, as you say, are going to be right up for it. They'll get behind him. We will create chances. We will create chances. As you say, Arsenal have been indifferent. I don't think this is the Arsenal that we're going to face when they were putting Man City toe-to-toe for the league. I don't think it's that. I'm not saying it won't be, but at this minute in time, I don't think they're firing on all cylinders because, as you said, they're very indifferent. So this is the perfect opportunity for me, for Everton, to get their first win. Get at them from the off. Don't give them time on the ball. Whether it was Arsene Wenger's team or whether it's Mikel Arteta's team now, Arsenal have always been known to pass you off the park, to tire you out, to keep the ball, to make that through pass. Do you know what I mean? But if Everton can stop that, the through balls, because the midfield for me on Sunday has got a massive, massive job to stop that. Because if they get past our midfield with them through balls or the balls out wide and the whip and crosses in, again, you can't rely on the defence. So for me, the midfield has got a massive, massive job to do on Sunday to stop them passing the ball around in the triangles they do, finding the space. If we can nullify that and hit them on the break, again, I'll say it again, we'll have wide players there and we'll have a centre forward when we hit them on the break who can hopefully create opportunities and take a couple. But the midfield, for me, has got a massive job.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I'm just gonna sort of finish it off. Score prediction. I've said Everton 1-0. What do you think, John?
I go 2-1. I think Arsenal score. You know what I mean? I think obviously that's your choice, but I just think Everton will do well to keep them out. Do you know what I mean? I do. So I go 2-1. I think Everton take the lead. I think Arsenal score, and then obviously I think Everton get the winner. I think for 90 minutes on Sunday, we've got to be behind them because we need this first win, Michael. Because the longer you go without getting 3 points, the confidence slowly ebbs away. And I'm not saying we're playing with a great deal of confidence at the minute, but what I'm getting to, out of 4 games we played in the league this season, there's probably only one where it's been a car crash, which was Aston Villa. The other 3 games, we've looked like we could have won them games. We spoke about it last week. We could easily have
9 points.
Yeah. On 3 of the performances in the league, we could. If we can take them performances now with a good forward attacking line, as I said, Dyche has had longer with them, shore that defence up, I do think we can nick it by a goal.
Yeah, don't disagree. Right, guys, I'm leaving it there. I've got to finish decorating. I'll see you all for the match reaction, John.
Yep.
Love you long time, my friend.
And you.
And that haircut is looking... Whew.
We'll probably do it. Obviously, I'm at the match Sunday, so I can't do a match reaction. But if Michael's got time on Monday, we'll probably do an in-depth chat and get my opinion across of the game.
Yeah, sounds. Guys,
cool. Enjoy the game, folks. Have a lovely weekend.
Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and make sure you block John on Twitter. Sound. Everyone, see you later. Peace.
Cheers, folks.